Welcome to the world of TrendPod AI. Today, we're really going to dig into a moment chess fans have been talking about. A big one.
Yeah, definitely. We're focusing on this really interesting article about a key game from the Norway Chess tournament. This was back in June 2025. It covers that massive classical showdown between Gukesh D, the reigning world champion, and Magnus Carlsen.
Magnus, who, everyone still kind of sees as the best player, right?
Yeah.
Even without the official title anymore.
Exactly. So the anticipation for this game was huge.
Right. And our goal here, our mission for this deep dive is to really pull apart the crucial moments, the real meaning behind this match. What did it signify for Gukesh, for Carlsen, and maybe even for chess itself?
Okay, let's get into it. So Gukesh, he made history back in December 2024. Youngest world champion ever, just massive. A huge, huge moment for him and obviously for India. Beat Ding Liren for the title after a really strong candidates tournament.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
But, as the article points out, even with the crown, there was still this big shadow, Magnus Carlsen's shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Because Carlsen gave up the title, didn't he? He wasn't actually beaten for it.
That's the key point.
Yeah.
He relinquished it undefeated in a match context. So, yeah, there was this feeling, maybe an unfair one, but a feeling that Gukesh hadn't faced the quote-unquote final boss.
And Gukesh himself was pretty open about it, wasn't he?
Remarkably so. The article mentions this. Even as champion, he kind of admitted, look, I don't feel like the best player yet because I haven't beaten Magnus in Classical. He actually said reaching Carlsen's level was the goal.
Wow. Okay, so that sets the stage perfectly for this game. June 1st, Norway Chess. Their first classical game since Gukesh became champion. So much riding on it, symbolically.
Everyone was watching, yeah. And the big news, Gukesh won. He got that first classical victory against Carlsen. The article really frames this as lifting a massive weight off his shoulders.
A psychological barrier broken.
Totally. Silencing maybe some doubters, people saying, well, Carlsen wasn't even in the candidates, and maybe breaking a personal block against Magnus.
Okay, but here's where it gets really fascinating. Because the article makes it clear this wasn't some clean, dominant win, right?
Not even close. That's what makes the story so good. The article says Carlsen was actually outplaying Gukesh for a lot of the game.
Outplaying him?
Yeah. Gukesh apparently said himself he was in a really tough spot, maybe even clearly lost at one point. He was basically just hanging on, trying to find tricky moves to complicate things.
Resourceful, though. Staying in the fight.
Definitely resourceful. And then it happened. Carlsen blundered. A knight move. Move 52.
Under time pressure.
Seems like it. The article notes the time control, a smaller increment, less extra time per move than standard, might have been a factor. And Gukesh was right there. Bang. Capitalized immediately.
So a win snatched from the jaws of defeat, almost.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Gukesh is quoted saying something like, I'll absolutely take it, even if he didn't maybe deserve it based on the whole game, called it a lucky day.
Admitted he'd lose that position 99 times out of 100. That's honest.
Very honest. And Carlsen was visibly frustrated, apparently banged his fist, but then, showed good sportsmanship.
Okay, so maybe not a strategic masterpiece by Gukesh, but the significance is the key insight here.
Exactly. The Indian GM Dibyan Dubarua is quoted saying how very much needed this win was. It wasn't about perfect play, it was about breaking that mental barrier.
Right, that makes sense.
And the article dives even deeper, drawing this parallel to Anatoly Karpov back in '75.
Well, when Fischer forfeited.
Precisely. Karpov became champion without beating Fischer, and he faced similar questions about legitimacy. He had to really prove himself by dominating the field Fischer would have faced. Beating Carlsen now, it's like Gukesh validating his reign against that absent legend, a modern echo.
That's a really powerful comparison. So this win, even being a bit messy, it sort of unlocks that next level for Gukesh.
That seems to be the argument. And he followed up quickly too, beat Arjun Erigaisi, India's #1 in Classical right after. So momentum.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the main takeaway isn't just the game result itself. It's more profound.
Yeah, it's a huge psychological hurdle cleared, a symbolic moment for the young world champion.
Which leaves us, and you, with a final thought to chew on. Gukesh has now cleared this massive hurdle, beating Carlsen in Classical. Does this victory make his own stated goal reaching Magnus's level, maybe even taking that world #1 spot? Does it make that path seem, a lot clearer now?